Welcome to the video. My name is Rachel Young, and today I'm going to be looking at my boyfriend's comic books. He has a lot of comic books, and he is such a nerd. He said he actually read all his comic books that he has, and I would say based on looking at how many comic books it looks like he has, it looks like it could be worth a couple grand. Now let me just show you this. What comic book sold for the most money? An original copy of the Action Comics #1 that initially cost 10 cents and introduced Earth to Superman became the world's most expensive comic book Sunday when it ranked in 3.2 million on eBay. Wowzers. How much is Detective Comics #1 worth? 1 million. Did you know? Ranked number 27. 1 million. It's true. This rare copy of Detective Comics from 1939 sold for more than 1 million, making it one of the most valuable comics books ever. How much is the first issue of Captain America worth? While values lag behind Batman, Superman, and other contemporaries, high-grade copies of this comic book are truly rare. Minimum value in really bad shape, $10,000. Record sale, $343,000 for a CGC 9.2. In 45 pages of Nazi-bashing glory, Captain America first hit the stands in 1941 for only a dime an issue. Just really quickly, before I show you my boyfriend's comics, I'm going to show you 20 of the comic books, 20 comic books that have sold for a lot of money. And if I see any of these in my boyfriend's comics, I'm going to fall over. Yeah. Let me show you real quick. The Flash was published in 1956 and sold for about $179,250. Action Comics #13 sold for $185,000. All American Comics #16 with the Green Lantern sold for a whopping $203,150, and that was published in 1940. Action Comics #10 sold for $258,000 and came out in 1939. Here's the Avengers #1. This comic was from 1963, and it sold for a whopping $274,000, and it came out from 1963. This is the first issue that has Thor in it. Journey into Mystery, which sold for $275,000. And it originally costed 12 cents. This is the first appearance of Captain Marvel, which today he goes by Shazam. And it's from 1940, and it sold for $281,000. Here's the very first Fantastic Four, which was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1961. This book sold for $300,000. Gee Willikers. This is the very first Incredible Hulk comic. And he was originally gray, not green. And it was 12 cents when it first came out, and it sold for $300,000. Written by Stan Lee and drawn by Jack Kirby. Whoa. Here's the very first issue of Captain America. And it shows Adolf Hitler. He's punching him. And that sold for $343,057. And it was originally 10 cents. Holy gee willikers. This comic book was the one that first showed the Human Torch and Namor the Submariner. And this one sold for $350,000. Here's the first appearance of Iron Man. It was 12 cents when it first came out. And it sold for $375,000. And it's definitely made Robert Downey Jr. rich as you know what. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Here in this All-Star Comics shows the very first appearance of Wonder Woman. And it sold for $411,000. Wow. This one has the first appearance of the Flash and Hawkman, which sold for 10 cents. And it was sold at $450,000, making it the second most expensive comic in history. Here's the very first X-Men. Which sold for $492,937. It's got Cyclops, the Beast, Magneto, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It was from 1963, sold for almost $500,000 in 2012. I believe this is the very first Superman comic. I might be wrong. And he got his own comic way back in 1939, collecting his first 4 adventures, which had already been included in issues of Action Comics. Earlier this year, a copy sold for $507,500 in a deal brokered by Vintage Comics from Comic Link. Wow. And it originally sold for just 10 cents. This, I am not for sure if this is the first Batman one.
Yes, it's the first Batman.
It sold for 10 cents. And it says the first, it sold for $567,000 and $625. I guess that's the first Batman. The first issue of Batman's standalone series features the debut appearance of 2 of the Caped Crusader's most famous adversaries, the Joker and Catwoman. A copy sold for blah blah, you know, I already said it. So this one right here, Detective Comics, sold for $830,000. and it originally was 10 cents. And this is back in 1939. This was the most expensive book ever sold when it changed hands back in 2010. This one right here sold for $1.1 million. It's the issue from 1962 and the debut of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's Amazing Spider-Man. The Web Slinger is one of the world's most beloved costume heroes, and this issue went for $1.1 million in an auction in 2011. And it sold for 12 cents at first. Wow. So if you have this comic, you know you're going to be having a good life. So this is the very last one I'm going to show you, and then I'll show you my boyfriend's ones. This one has sold for the most. This one is from 1938, Action Comics, Superman. This is a very, very important one, so keep that one in your mind, because it sold for $3.2 million. This 1938 comic features the first appearance of Superman, ushering in the golden age of superhero comic books, created by Gerald Siegel and Joe Shuster, while the original comic went for just 10 cents. 4 different copies have sold for more than $1 million in recent years, with 2014 seeing a copy brought for a massive $3.2 million. Wow, that's pretty epic right there. If I see this one, I'm gonna fall over. So now I'm about to show you some of my boyfriend's comics.
In the next video.
Here we go.
Thank you for watching. Please push the like and subscribe button. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye. Toodaloo.